Those little horn hats.
wear.
Those are goofy. All right.
You'll get that joke once you've seen that was not in the animated version, by the way, the jokes about the helmet.
Oh.
Where they came from.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so there's some cryptic stuff for people who haven't seen the movie. We don't want to spoil those things for you. So that is How to Train Your Dragon. An A from Steve, an A- from me. It is rated PG. Still to come on the movie show today, we're going to review the latest from director Celine Song. Actually, this is only her second film. Her first one was Past Lives.
Yeah,
that
which
got
was
nominated for Oscars.
Best Picture.
And honestly, it was one of my favorites.
It was a good movie.
Then we've also got a Western coming up with Pierce Brosnan and Samuel L. Jackson, and a movie starring Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah.
That we'll give it a once over. But then on streaming, we have a couple of movies. One that I liked and one that I did not like.
I think I know which one's which.
Yeah.
Echo Valley, I'm guessing you...
Well, we'll wait.
Okay.
Don't want to give anything away.
Right,
but we've got a lot to talk about today,
tease.
including giving away those movie tickets to F1 Registered Trademark the Movie. And we also have...
You're really going to keep going with that?
I am.
Okay.
Absolutely. If they're going to insist it, I'm going to say it.
All right.
But we've also got movie news to go over, including a big announcement from Mel Brooks yesterday.
Yes. I thought it was one of those little spoof things that you sometimes see on the internet. Like, hey, they're making that up. There's no way they're going to go back 40 years.
It's actually, the announcement trailer was pretty funny. So we'll talk all about that. Plus other movie news, telephone torture with a $25 Fat Cats gift card to give away.
Oh, yeah.
All of that coming up on today's movie show, live from the KSL studios.
I want the news stories to really capture the environment that the story took place in.
Midday, all new from noon to 3.
I really want to take you to that spot where the community is really making an improvement in their neighborhood through a cleanup project, where the Cross Guard is helping those children cross the street.
Midday.
Those are the stories that really have an impact on you.
Midday with Maria Chaleos. Listen between noon and 3 on KSL News Radio.
The future is here, so why is your internet stuck in the past? With Quantum Fiber Internet, you can get next-level multi-gig speed on a reliable fiber network. Fair and honest pricing, with no annual contracts or bundling required. And whole home 360 Wi-Fi to make sure your devices are ready to take you where you want to go. So you can stream, post, game, surf, like, and love to your heart's content. You do you. Let Quantum Fiber Internet take care of the rest. Learn more at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service, and speed in select locations only.
Nothing says summer like double rewards on your Mountain America Rewards credit card. Get 2 times the points on everything from gas and groceries to travel and home projects. Now through July 31st, 2025.
Oh, wow.
It's the perfect way to stretch your dollar and make summer doubly rewarding. Apply for your Mountain America Rewards credit card at macu.com/double. Loans on approved credit. Offer can change or be withdrawn at any time. Limited time offer. Terms and conditions apply.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Secret Clinical dominating extra stinky stress sweat. And this is regular deodorant. Secret Clinical in a heat wave. Oh, what a beautiful day. This is regular deodorant. Ugh, I can't. Secret Clinical with workout sweat. Let's run another marathon. And regular deodorant. How much more? Secret is the GOAT. Because nothing fights sweat better.
Stay fresher under pressure. It's back, and you will be too. June 12th through the 14th at the Cache County Fairgrounds, it's the Summerfest Arts Fair, celebrating its 41st anniversary, featuring local and regional artists and musicians. You're gonna love this, like you loved it before. Art, painting, ceramics, music, food. Summerfest Arts Fair is loaded with all the things that you and the family love the most. Then get set for an amazing lineup of musicians, featuring headliners the Lonely Hearts Club Band, The Last Wild Buffalo, and Music City Groove. Plus, enjoy other regional musicians like the Highline Drifters and Fry Pan Band. This is where local, regional, and national artists come together to celebrate the arts. So discover 165 artist booths, 38 performing groups, and 30 food vendors, along with a plein air art competition. Get the full details at logansummerfest.org. Logansummerfest.org. Summerfest Arts Fair, June 12th through the 14th at the Cache County Fairgrounds.
Getting help with plumbing repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
The Movie Show.
It's a fake laugh. It's real.
On KSL News Radio.
Well, our movie show question of the week, we're actually going to throw out a whole bunch this week just because why not?
Sure.
And the question that we came up with and that we've texted out to our Movie Show Club listeners or Movie Show Club members is, what is the worst remake? What's a movie with the worst remake? And people have opinions on this. But there's about 4 that are pretty common with everybody, which is really interesting. Snow White has gotten a lot of dislike, the one from earlier this year.
Yeah.
In fact, I could see 1, 2, 3, 4, and just as I started scrolling. Let's see. In fact, that's almost all. The live-action Little Mermaid just got a vote. And I was looking on the KSL Movie Show Facebook page because we put it up there last night, and there was some people posting on that. The one that got a lot of votes last night was the Clash of the Titans remake. From the 1980 version to whatever it was, 2014 or something.
Is that when I have a certain set of skills?
No, that's Taken.
No. It was. He was in that movie.
Yeah, in Clash of the he played Zeus in Clash of the Titans.
Yeah.
Liam Neeson, what you were looking for.
That's right.
Okay, so that is our movie show question of the week. But we also have one. What's a great movie, Dad? It's Father's Day weekend. What's a great movie, Dad, or one that you like, or a movie that really made you miss your dad or love your dad? That's going to give away a lot of people are going to pick the same film. But those are the questions that we have. Plus, I think I had another one. I don't know if I remember it. I'll throw it out there. But we've got
the Beach Boy question. Is that the one?
Oh yeah. In honor of the passing of Brian Wilson, what is the best use of a Beach Boys song in a movie? We'll take any of those texts at 57500, and we'll read them off at some point. Some of them off during some point during the show. But now it's time, Steve, to review us another movie, Materialists.
If the girl asks for a tall drink of water with a salary over $500,000, you deliver.
You're the matchmaker. You want a drink?
Sure. Coke and beer.
Hey, buddy.
Hi, John.
Definitely didn't expect to run into you tonight.
I missed you.
Yeah, you don't even remember my face.
I laughed out loud at the beer and Coke because it appeared literally instantly. And I laughed out loud like, wow, this Pedro Pascal's so rich that stuff happens the minute after
I thought it was like
it.
Mick Jagger going, Diet Coke.
That was not a cut. That was literally how it happened in the movie. So this is Oscar-nominated director Celine Song's follow-up movie to Past Lives. It's called Materialist. It stars Dakota Johnson as Lucy. She's a skilled Manhattan matchmaker, works for a company that helps people find love. At the wedding of the 9th couple that Lucy's put together who've gotten married, she meets the super rich bachelor Pedro Pascal, and then she also runs into her broke former love, Chris Evans, who's waiting tables at the event. She meets him basically at the same time. Now Lucy has to decide which of these two guys is her own best.
And by the way, she's really good at matchmaking other people. She's just not very good at doing it.
Yeah, and this is kind of a trope in a lot of movies. Like, oh no, what will the hot-looking person will never find love? And in this case, but I thought this is slow-paced and thoughtful movie that has the appearance of a rom-com, but it's way more romance than comedy. And much like the Oscar-nominated Past Lives, Celine Song also wrote and directed this one. A lot is said about the transactional nature of marriage and what people seek in relationships. And there were times where I personally wondered why it took such a nihilistic and reductionist view of relationships, especially marriage. But this is why I've brought in an additional expert today. One of our KSL News producers, Jessica Lowell, is here, and she saw it yesterday too. So, Jess, tell me what you're... And by the way, Jess is quite the cinephile herself.
She is.
She has strong opinions, and she's seen a lot of movies.
So you better nail this.
So this is not just somebody who's like, oh, it looked like this movie was good, and I went to it. No, this is... You went for Celine Song.
Yes, I did. I saw Past Lives. I love Past Lives. I think a lot of the themes kind of carry over from Past Lives to Materialist. I think it's really emblematic of what the younger generation is kind of feeling dating right now. You know, there's a lot of online dating, and people are feeling kind of hopeless about dating in my generation. And I think there's this kind of, the nihilistic is kind of how people are feeling about things right now.
And that's fine. That's why as I walked out of it, I thought, man, does everybody have like a terrible relationship besides me? Because as I watched it, I thought, I guess maybe I just haven't had this sounds weird, like a humble brag almost, but because I haven't had a horrible relationship with my wife, that as I watched this, I thought, marriage is a lot more than that, and it can be if you look at it that way. But it just felt like reductionist, and yet this was like a romance movie. And so what I did think Celine Song did really well, though, is I qualify everything by saying it was thoughtful. Like, even though I didn't necessarily agree with where I felt like the vibe was, personally, I did feel like it thoughtfully explored all those things. I mean, she's a matchmaker. She literally talks about how people come to her with a list of things that they want. And so she says, well, they checked all of our boxes. And at one point, that becomes a key point with one of her clients. But that was what the client wanted. And even though things didn't go that well.
They thought they wanted.
Well, they still wanted it even after the fact. That was what was interesting. But it didn't go the way that she had hoped that it would. And so once she became transactional in her mind at trying to put people together like this, it was hard to turn that off. In fact, it was impossible to turn it off.
Well, I think Celine Song's really good at capturing a moment of time. A lot of the conversations that were happening, I could see like myself having with my friends. And I think going back to what you were saying, Andy, about remind me what you just said.
Well, just it was thoughtful. The transactional nature. She couldn't turn that feature off, and then she couldn't decide if she wanted to be with the poor guy or the rich guy.
Well, and it does look like online dating too, because you have these kind of bios that you get on online dating where you're like, oh, I have to have a man with the perfect hairline, who's the perfect height, who makes a certain amount of money, and then you get yourself into your own little box of like not being able to leave that. And that, I think, even though you kind of feel like you're meeting someone more organically because you're being set up by someone who kind of feels like Dakota Johnson's supposed to feel like a friend, and it feels like you're being set up by a friend, it still is kind of like online dating where it's like you're pigeonholing yourself into a certain kind of person.
Well, I think it was helpful also that Celine actually was a matchmaker at some point in her life. I'm not sure how long or whatever, but I was reading an article saying that maybe nowadays we kind of need matchmakers, or we used to kid about, our choices are so bad. We need a committee of 3 that knows us really well, that should be instrumental in helping us choose.
They have to have a debate among 3 people that aren't you.
Well, yeah, you have to have an odd number so that the voting comes out right. But
that's an interesting thought.
I just thought, man, this has really become kind of a science.
Well, to be fair, I'm hoping that I never, ever have to date ever again. Like my dad, when my mom passed away when I was a teenager, and I just watched what it was like for my dad, and that was 30 years ago. Like to do it in today's day and age, I don't envy what my own kids are having to go through. And so that's why I said, so just because I felt that way about the reductionist view of it, I also realized that's very possibly how people see it nowadays.
It was easy for you, not so much for everybody else.
Oh, I didn't say it was easy for me.
Okay.
I'm just saying I've been fortunate. But here's the other thing, and this is the part that'll make you laugh. Poor Dakota Johnson, she has to choose between the Mandalorian and Captain America. Oh my, should we all have that problem?
It's a win-win. It's like you're saying that this is like, oh, it's bad, but I'm like every aspect, every outcome of her dating life would have been good for her.
Yeah, she couldn't lose in that scenario. I gave it a B+ grade. It is rated R. Again, this is called Materialists, starring Dakota Johnson, Pedro Pascal.
Who's in everything now. Pedro Pascal.
Isn't he though? But he's really good in this. Yeah, God, he's just so smooth. Like that would be a hard person to have to choose over Chris Evans or vice versa, I would guess. Again, that's the Materialists. Now, before we take a break, a little bit of movie news. Got a lot of Superman news this week because I'm a nerd and we're on the movie show. We're going to talk about the last final trailer clips that have dropped from Superman, and we're going to try not to get angry at Warner Brothers for not screening it for us critics.
Well, I know it sounds snotty, but they really are trying to fleece everyone, including the critics.
But, Steve, are you a fan of collectible popcorn buckets?
I have a few. I don't know what to do with them.
I am not a fan only for the following reason. You don't get enough popcorn.
Too busy the glim and the glamour of the bucket.
You just don't get enough popcorn. Like, you got all this fun stuff, and then you get like 2 handfuls of popcorn. But you're paying like triple the amount of the bucket. This is Miser Andy talking here, who wants the maximum
I want popcorn
for the lowest price.
Throw it in a bag. I don't care what it looks like.
But we'll post a picture of what you can get from the Superman popcorn bucket. This is exclusive to Cinemark Theaters. It's Crypto the Super Dog, and he's holding your popcorn for you.
Aww.
Isn't that cute? All right, we've got more to come on the movie show, including some more movie news. We'll talk about that new Superman trailer. Plus, we've got news, plus a couple more movies to talk about when we return on the movie show.
11:29 at KSL News Radio. I'm Claire Scott. KSL's top story this hour. And it is breaking news. We're hearing that a helicopter crashed shortly after taking off at the Sky Park Airport in Woods Cross this morning. Christian Galvin was working when he heard the helicopter was taking off. He started recording right before he saw the helicopter's propeller clip the hangar door.
We saw a piece hit 3 feet from where we were standing.
Police say the pilot was able to leave the helicopter quickly and was lucky to walk away with just a few scratches. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. Officials have found 2 flight data recorders in the Indian plane crash. These details could shed light on why the Boeing Dreamliner plowed into a medical school shortly after takeoff this week. ABC's James Longman reports.
This is the first fatal crash involving a Boeing Dreamliner since it entered service in 2011. Aviation experts raising concerns about the engines after seeing the nose of the plane pointed up in the moments before disaster, pointing to an issue of thrust. Boeing has told ABC News they're ready to support the investigation. It's crucial information from the black box that will shed light on how this could have happened.
241 people on board died and 1 passenger survived. Your money at this moment, the Dow is down 593 points. The S&P is down 40 points. And coming up, clear sunny skies. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 11:30.
A reminder about the simplest way to get updated for your day.
Hit your KSL preset when you jump in the car, and we'll take care of the rest.
Hear key news updates and traffic reports.
Andy and Amanda from 5 to 9 in your car.
KSL News Radio at 102.7 FM.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy. Pretty much hands off, They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Got an app idea? You're sitting on a gold mine, but stuck on how to bring it to life? Meet Dev Simplify, your superheroes for web and mobile app creation. Dev Simplify. DevSimplify.com. Just ask Coach Mike with Practice Planner Live.
As a coach, technology isn't my strength, but Dev Simplify took my idea for Practice Planner Live and turned it into the top practice planning platform on the market. They transformed my non-technical vision into an incredible web and mobile app that coaches like me now can't live without.
See, you don't need to be a tech wizard. Your idea plus Dev Simplify's superhero software skills equals a big win. Right, Mike?
I had big plans for my app, and with Dev Simplify's help, it's now a thriving must-have platform for all coaches.
Dev Simplify, turning your brilliant ideas into amazing web and mobile. No tech skills required. Visit DevSimplify.com and let the magic begin. DevSimplify.com.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by Mountain America's Double Rewards credit card promotion. Here's Michelle Rowe.
Still working on this crash. Southbound I-15 right about 7200 south. They do have the one lane more open. Still blocking the HOV and the shoulder on the left. Now for drivers headed on Mountain View Corridor, also seeing some delays both directions there right at South Jordan Parkway. So want to allow a couple of extra minutes to get through that as well. The Good Feet store supporting you with comfort no matter what the day brings. Find the location nearest you at goodfeet.com. I'm Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
A high of 95 today with a bit of breeze moving in tomorrow afternoon. Clouds move in on Sunday for Father's Day. Right now it is 84 and sunny. I'm Claire Scott from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
It's the KSL Movie Show.
That is a stupid design, and your instructions were very unclear.
The week's big movie review, movie news, games, and prizes. Here's Andy Farnsworth and Steve Sales.
These curious creatures crawl, creep, and climb their way through life.
On KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Steve, stop making me laugh right as we go on the air. It derails everything that I'm going to say, but I've done it if you're just not funny.
By the way, I did not see The Materialist, so people are like, what did Steve think? He's yet to see it, so I apologize. But I will see it because I do love all those people, including Celine Song.
And I'm really digging Celine Song. Like, this is now 2 movies where I've really enjoyed what she's brought.
Yeah, and she has an insight that's really quite remarkable.
She doesn't rush things.
Right.
And she seems to have a good handle on, like, the human romance condition, at least from the 2 movies she's created. Past Lives was, if not my favorite movie that year, is my second favorite movie of that year.
Yeah, it was a great film.
All right. Well, we have a couple of movies to talk about in this segment of the movie show. Let's start with a Western called The Unholy Trinity.
I know your daddy real well. Me and him stole enough gold, paved the streets of heaven.
Think I know where that gold is?
I don't know. Do you? In case it ain't obvious, you will find that gold.
You killed one of those men. Now you ride with me.
Well, we're in the era of I call them dime store westerns, where great Hall of Fame actors are going, hey, I'm not busy this weekend. Let's go make a Western.
Okay.
So that's why the Alec Baldwin thing was so famous because,
Rust.
Well, obviously for the accident, but Rust. But that's kind of a trend. Like Saban and Vertical and some of these studios are putting out these low-budget Westerns with great actors. The script's not quite there, and the sets kind of, even the sound effects for the guns are not quite there. But they still have something to offer, and I think there's a niche there. And so they're making these movies, and they're in theaters for a short time, but the main point is that they'll eventually go to streaming. I mean, there's a lot of they're starving for content, and so this is one of them. And get this lineup: you've got Pierce Brosnan playing the sheriff of this small town Trinity. You've got Samuel L. Jackson as this kind of grinning scoundrel called St. Christopher.
Yeah, you spend the whole movie not sure if he's a good guy or a bad guy. Eventually, you do find out which one, but you don't know through at least a third to 2/3 of the movie.
You didn't get it by this?
Well, I mean, it was enough ambiguity that you weren't sure.
Okay.
Well, I wasn't.
Tim Daly's in it briefly as a guy who's accused of murder, and they dispatch him. David Arquette's
He's in it for a minute till they hang him.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Oh, spoilers! Stop it.
Happens in the first 2 minutes, so everybody relax. So David Arquette's the one that cracked me up. He's this lying, thieving outlaw called Father Jacob.
Yeah, it was funny to say, wait, is that Tim Daly? Yes, it is. Wait, is that David Arquette? Yes, it is.
I know. They're all in this, except who is this kid, Brandon Lessard?
That was the only person I didn't know.
Like,
He was the main
know.
character.
It's Tim Daly's kid, and he promises. No, not in real life. Sorry, no.
Oh, okay.
No, which would explain why he's in the movie. He promises his son that he has to go to Montana and to this little town Trinity and kill that dirty, rotten sheriff, who basically had something to do with him being accused of murder. So that's the whole thing. It's a vengeance film. They go to Montana, and the kid's trying to figure out. My favorite scene, though, I love these scenes where there's Pierce Brosnan. He walks into a church, and he sits down at a pew, and the kid comes in behind him, and he's not quiet about it. And not once did Pierce Brosnan turn around and go, You know, the kid's pointing a gun at him.
He didn't know that till the gun cocked.
But wouldn't you at least see? This is the thing they do in
because
westerns.
He's so cool, he doesn't need to
That's
turn around.
it. That's
He's always
it.
ready.
That's like the slow-mo walk away from the explosions. It's a trope. He never, ever turned around, even though the kid was about ready to shoot him, and said, "No, son, I think you got the wrong guy.
Son,
I'm gonna
before
explain to
you
why."
shoot me, could you come here for a sec? Okay.
Yeah.
And then that changes things around a bit. So I actually thought, I like how Brosnan mixes charm with his, everybody knows he has skill for action. He was James Bond, for heaven's sake. I actually thought it was just a decent Western movie. I enjoyed seeing a decent Western movie again.
I didn't mind it, but the violence was way over the top. That poor, nice young girl that was going to, show Henry a good time, blam, right in the back.
Oh, yeah, she was on 30 Rock. I was like, oh my gosh, that's Cerie from 30 Rock.
And, Spock.
Oh, yeah, he's
Strange
the bartender.
New Worlds.
He's the
throws
bartender.
out an idea, and the guy says, thanks, blam. No. That was
Spoiler.
Well, I'm sorry, but it's just the violence took me out of the movie.
Okay, violence took you out of a Western movie.
Okay, I'll be in my trailer.
I'm just restating out loud what you just said. No, but here's one thing that goes in its favor. It's only 90 minutes long.
Well, 96, but that's okay.
What did you give? I gave it a B because I enjoyed it enough. What did you give
it?
C+.
C+.
Ooh, we have a big disparity on this. Unholy, the Unholy Trinity, starring Samuel L. Jackson and Pierce Brosnan.
It's cheese. Come on.
A C+ from Steve, a B grade from Andy. And, there's a reason that Westerns were like every movie forever. In part because what you're talking about, cost. But also there's something about a Western story.
No, I get it. And I think every actor wants to play a cowboy. But come on, just make it a little bit more, I don't know, less low budgety.
All right. Well, that is the Unholy Trinity. Now, there was a movie that neither of us got to, The Life of Chuck.
Yes.
The universe is large, and it contains multitudes, but it also contains me. And in this moment, I am wonderful.
This is one of those Stephen King novellas that was 4 stories in one little thing. And the guy he does a lot of Stephen King's stuff, his name is Mike Flanagan. He also did the Dr. Sleep movie, the sequel to The Shining.
Oh, right. That had Ewan McGregor in it.
Yeah, but he also did The Fall of the House of Usher, so he kind of likes being in that little...
Wait, the movie or the series that I liked on Netflix?
I think the series.
Okay, because I liked the series on Netflix.
Yeah, okay, so this is 3 acts, but it starts with the 3rd act first, then 2, then 1. So he's like on his deathbed at the beginning, and then in Act 2, he's sort of living his life. You see him in the trailer that he's dancing with
this
that.
Is Tom Hiddleston, right?
Tom Hiddleston, sorry.
Okay.
And then at the end, he's just a little kid learning what he should do with his life, and his grandfather is played by Mark Hamill. I have heard the polar opposites on this movie, and we didn't get a chance to see this, but I've heard platitudes that don't really say anything, and on the other end, mind-blowing, life-altering film. So I don't know where this thing lies.
So it swings the whole spectrum, I guess.
Completely. So I'm intrigued.
I think that means it's a good artistic movie, because if it's artfully done, then you can have the whole range of reactions to it, and you just sort of interpret it based on, similar to kind of like how Jess and I saw Materialists 2 different ways based on the experiences that we took in with it.
Right, exactly.
What we got out of it. So that's interesting. I kind of wish we'd have had a chance. I had the time to go see The Life of Chuck, because I do like Tom Hiddleston, and I love Mark Hamill. Just about anything he does.
Yeah, he's really good in this, so I am also looking forward to seeing that one.
So that one gets an incomplete from Andy and Steve because we did not get a chance to see it. Now, we do have some movie news, and this is really interesting to me. This one caught my eye as I was looking through some of the headlines this week, Steve. And do you remember, have you seen those commercials for State Farm that have Batman in them?
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like Jason Bateman as Batman, kind of a thing.
Hey, Bateman, go do a podcast.
This is kind of a departure for Warner Brothers, who've protected the copyrights for commercial use for a lot of their story characters. But as you heard this week, Warner Brothers Discovery is going to split again, and they're going to keep the online or the TV channels separate from the streaming and the movie production
who's running
studio.
that circus over there?
That's a whole different problem. But what they're doing now is the company wants to make a new effort to book their characters cameos in commercials. That's why I brought up that State Farm. This is
man.
one of the first times
Here
they've
we go.
licensed Batman to be a character in a commercial as opposed to just like, they've been breakfast cereal and candy bars and stuff forever and ever. But this is one time where they're going to make commercials where they're calling it the WBD Storyverse, Warner Brothers Discovery.
Please.
And they're going
Cash
to
grab.
license. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But this is the characters they're going to license. Elf, Harry Potter,
What?
The Big Bang Theory, The
How are they
Matrix,
gonna do that?
Friends, and Family Matters.
Are they just flat broke? Are they owe the IRS everything? I don't get what they're doing here.
This is what the executive vice president of client partnerships at Warner said in an
Fired.
article on Variety. Audiences have a deep connection to our stories, and we want to offer that connectivity in service to our partners.
Or how can we make money off stuff that we've already done that we aren't going to do again right away?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Every cynical
Corey.
feeling you have right now is probably true.
Well, and especially we haven't even talked about the Superman nonsense with the tickets.
Oh, with the $20 tickets?
Oh, but you have to be a Prime member first. You have to be
yes.
eligible to buy a ticket.
So this is how I'm going to be able to see the movie before the day it releases. Is I paid through my Amazon Prime membership. I paid to get a ticket,
and you
it
also
sold
paid
out in
Fandango.
one day. By the way.
Oh yeah, no, I went on the moment it hit my internet, and it was 3 seats left in the theater. I'm like, you know what? No.
So Steve is going to go see it, just like all the regular folk.
Well, I'll see it on Thursday.
On the Thursday, so
There's
we
a-
will both have seen it by
There's
the
a
time
1
we
o'clock
do.
showing, or 1 or 2 o'clock showing on Thursday. That's when I'm going.
And I want to have a couple of days to noodle on it, so I paid the $20.
It's just the principle of the thing.
That's a fair point. So we'll talk about Superman's final trailer here in our next segment. We also want to read some of your texts. We threw out a few questions today. We had the first question is which movie has the worst remake? And Snow White seems to be winning by a landslide.
Oh, I got one.
But we also got a vote for live action Aladdin, which I kind of liked. I don't know. Maybe I'm
that's
weird.
too bad.
All right, Steve, what about you?
Okay, this one nailed to the floor. Pink Panther.
Oh.
Steve Martin was even embarrassed. He said, I feel...
But he did 2 of them.
Well, he felt stupid twice for trying to fill Peter Sellers' shoes. The 1963 Pink Panther, and then in 2006, Steve Martin tried to redo it with a rousing 21% on Rotten Tomatoes. Way to go, Stephen.
20%.
20%, 21.
Okay. But
and then the
little
other
kids
one
liked it.
Here's the one that really throws me. Psycho.
That one got a lot of votes on our Facebook page. The Gus
Okay,
Van
that came
Sant
out
remake.
in 1960, Hitchcock. Yeah, and then they put Vince Vaughn in there, and he's kind of goofy. Again, it's like having Pee Wee Herman play Hannibal Lecter. I mean, come on.
How could you just imagine?
Stop.
That? Hey, Fava beans and a Chianti.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Oh, all right. Well, we still have to come on the movie show. We've got the movie show top 10 coming up next. Plus, we're going to tell you what Mel Brooks movie, not getting a remake, but a sequel.
Did you hear what he said?
Well, we'll talk about that
that's
when we
hilarious.
return on the movie show.
Incredible savings on all Bernina machines at Dave's Bernina in Provo and St. George.
Don't miss our sun-kissed savings, such as $200 to $400 off machines $2,000 to $5,000, $500 to $700 off machines $5,000 to $8,000, $800 to $1,000 discounts on machines $8,000 to $15,000. And get $1,500 savings on machines $15,000 and up. Plus a limited time offer of 2.99% interest for 60 months on certain machines.
Come in now for bargains on trade-ins, classroom, and demo machines that come with warranties.
The Burnett 33 machine is only $199 and the Burnett Academy $349.
Come see the Bernina 990, the most amazing revolutionary sewing machine in the world.
With a discount up to $1,500.
Dave's Bernina, 691 East St. George Boulevard and 2017 North 550 West in Provo. Dave'sBernina.com.
The Management Minute is a service of the MBA program in the John M. Huntsman School of Business at Utah State University. I'm Professor Scott Hammond. Recently, 300 residents of Chelsea, Michigan, turned up to help a local bookstore move. They formed a human chain from the old location to the new location and passed almost 10,000 books to help this business. What a great community. you will spend much of your life in a work community. It might be a not my problem kind of a place, or it might be let's help each other always kind of a place. I saw a CEO helping on the loading dock, a foreman picking up a hammer, and a senior editor writing copy just to help when it was needed. Those actions don't just help in hard times, they create the kind of work communities we all want to be a part of. Learn more about healthy work communities in an MBA program from Utah State. Go to utahstatemba.com. That's utahstatemba.com. I'm Scott Hammond. Hope to see you in one of our classes.
Sign up for KSL Text Alerts. Get breaking news and traffic updates by texting the word news to 57500. Want access to exclusive contests? Text contest to 57500. Jazz fans, text the word jazz for breaking jazz updates. And Cougar fans, text BYU to 57500 for the latest on the Cougars. Message and data rates may apply.
Make sure that your home's heating and cooling systems is in shape for whatever the season will bring with expert and community trusted service you can rely on from Call Climate Services. Industry-leading products, outstanding service, and customized comfort is what you can look forward to when working with Call Climate Services. Call Climate Services has worked hard to achieve and maintain premier dealer status with Lennox. This status is achieved with specialty equipment training and customer satisfaction ratings of 4 stars and above. Offering a wide assortment of Lennox equipment, Call Climate Services will ensure your family's home comfort system needs are met. Call today at 801-298-4810. That's 801-298-4810. Or visit Call Climate Services online at callclimate.com to learn more about how you can experience the premier dealer difference today at Call Climate Services, 801-298-4810. Dealer license number 358-234-5501.
This is Derek Miller speaking on business. Nature's Sunshine passion for natural health has been evident since 1972. From herbs and extracts to vitamins and minerals, their products harness Earth's nourishing goodness to help you cultivate a healthier life. Vice President of Marketing, Stephanie O'Farrell, joins us with more.
We believe in nature's power to promote health and well-being, that Earth not only sustains us, but can also help us thrive. Our mission is simple: to help you feel your best every day. For over 50 years, we've crafted our supplements with care, using Earth's purest ingredients. We obsess over every detail, earning your trust and confidence with rigorous testing and quality standards to deliver the kind of quality you can feel. From daily immune support and deep gut health to better digestion and balance in your life, every supplement is rooted in nature and crafted with purpose. No shortcuts, no guesswork, just nature backed by knowledge and experience. We're committed to transparency, sustainability, and helping you show up as your strongest self. We're more than a supplement company. We're your partner in wellness. Because when nature works with you, there's no limit to what you can do.
Nature's Sunshine continues to deliver high-quality, health-focused products that support your wellness journey. Grounded in nature and backed by science, you can learn more and explore their wellness solutions at naturessunshine.com. I'm Derek Miller with the Salt Lake Chamber, speaking on business.
10, 9. The KSL Movie Show Top 10.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, the movie show Top 10, sponsored by Call Climate Services. From repair to replacement and installation, callclimate.com. Number 10 is a movie that Variety this week said is another misfire from Marvel.
No.
Thunderbolts. Yeah, they said it's not going to make back. Even though they lowered the production budget, it's still not going to make back what it had. And they're like, what is Marvel going to do if Thunderbolts didn't earn worldwide what they were hoping?
Maybe change the name again? That should help.
Yeah, that
and
always goes a long way.
Avengers.
DC did that so great with the fantabulous anticipation or emancipation of Harley Quinn, a.k.a. Birds of Prey.
Yeah, so Thunderbolts Asterix has made $378 million.
Oh, I know. Again, these are expectations that come from what the past performances have been. Number 9, unqualified success, and maybe even we'll get a sequel, is Sinners.
Sin Again?
Sin Again?
358.
Ooh, that'd be a good one.
Sin Again?
Then number 8,
Say
Dan
it right.
to Dan, Evil Eye.
Did you say Dan to Dan?
That's what it says.
That's accurate.
Oh.
Not Dan the Man.
Da, 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 Dan.
That's an animated, right?
It's
anime.
actually anime style, yeah. That one is number 8. Number 7, Bring Her Back.
And the sequel, I'd rather not. It's made $14 million.
14. What did it cost to make, though? That's the question.
$5.
$5. Number 6, The Phoenician Scheme did not do well in its opening week. Again, Wes Anderson is such an acquired taste.
He's so eclectic.
You can't start with a late Wes Anderson movie. You have to start at the beginning just to know if you'll even like anything that comes after.
True. It makes $20 million worldwide.
Ooh, that's not good. No. Number 5, Final Destination Bloodlines.
Again, these movies are critic-proof, and this one actually was pretty good. $259 worldwide.
Goofy, gory fun, if you're into that sort of thing.
Yeah, bloody mousetrap.
It's ridiculous about how death has to obey all these weird rules
I think it's actually pretty cool.
Until it doesn't want to.
Oh, I thought it did the whole way through.
Did it, though?
It did. I checked.
Number 4, Karate Kid Legends. So it didn't drop as far as I thought it might.
But it's really got a balance. 38 domestic, 39 foreign, 77 total. It'll be all right.
The challenge is if you haven't watched Cobra Kai and you're going because you want to see...
I knew there was some way you were going to
just
squeeze Cobra Kai into this
You can't talk about one without the other because if you're going to see Karate Kid Legends because you want to see Ralph Macchio, you don't get to see a lot of Ralph Macchio. If you want to know the continuation of Daniel LaRusso's story, there's 6 seasons on Netflix.
Yeah,
that will
that's
give
where
you
he goes.
everything you want. That's what I'm saying.
All right,
so, number 3, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.
You think he's ticked off that Lilo and Stitch has done so much better, but Tom's made $454 million, which in worldwide, which is decent numbers on an 8th film. Come on.
That's true. And then number 2, From the World of John Wick Ballerina, could not unseat the number 1 movie from last week.
No, but it did make $56 million, so that's, they're not.
Was that what they were hoping for?
I don't know what their projected was on that.
And then number 1, the movie of the week, Lilo and Stitch. That's what, the 3rd week in a row it stayed at number 1?
Yeah, 781.
So it's going to be a duel between remakes for the top at the box office. Will Lilo and Stitch stay there, or will How to Train Your Dragon finally knock them out of the top?
I'm going with Dragon.
You're going to go with Dragon?
After 3 weeks, yeah.
Well, let's see. We had earlier this morning, they released what were the early numbers from yesterday on the box office. Where did it go? Nope, I'm going too far ahead. How to Train Your Dragon fired up $8.6 million in Thursday previews.
That's decent.
11+ million in overall previews, and that's because they did a couple of test screenings around the country for people to see early.
Charging $20 a ticket.
Yeah, so if the factor of 8 to 9 holds, How to Train Your Dragon should make around $75 million this weekend.
Oh, look at you.
That's just what I've watched these numbers for a while, and that's about how they trend. So,
okay.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if they finally knock off Lilo and Stitch.
Got to.
So that is the movie show top 10. All right, Steve. The announcement came out in multiple social media posts yesterday, and what starts at, and this, I saw it on Facebook originally. I didn't even have the audio on it turned up, but this scroll starts, and I'm always a sucker for scroll over space because it looks like Star Wars.
No.
And this scroll starts up, and it says 30 or 50 years ago, a space movie came out that spawned all this a sequel trilogy. A prequel trilogy, a sequel to the prequel, and a prequel to the sequel. Then this miniseries, and then it goes over all these ridiculously funny things that obviously are referring to Star Wars. And then it starts going over these other franchises. But in 38 years, there's only ever been one Spaceballs, the movie.
I am shocked that they're actually going back and doing this.
So that is the big deal. Mel Brooks, who turns 99 later this month.
No. Is he that old?
99. And he is going to appear in they haven't titled Spaceballs 2. It's a sequel that will come out in 2027. So here's the question. Will he be alive for the premiere?
Well, I think they should shoot his part pretty early. Doesn't he play Yogurt?
Yes. He's going to reprise the role of Yogurt. The original movie came out in 1987. It spoofed mostly Star Wars, but it also spoofed Planet of the Apes. It spoofed Alien, if you'll recall, at the diner scene at the end. That was actually the first time. I didn't realize John Hurt was the same actor from Alien. I knew the alien came out of his stomach in the Spaceballs, but I didn't realize that was the same guy. And he's like,
spoiler alert. 2-1. 2-1.
Brooks directed and co-wrote the original film. He also played President Scrooge. I do not know if he's going to reprise the role of President Scrooge. Is Brooks spelled backwards?
Well, you know what he said about this movie? He said, yes, people have been asking us, when are you going to remake And so we made this movie instead.
It says Josh Gad is rumored to star, but also is helping write the script.
He's got to be the Wookiee, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. So then I was thinking, like, who couldn't be in it? John Candy obviously passed away in 1994, so we won't get Barf the Moog. Or if we do, it'll be recast.
Oh, that's who he'll play. He'll play that.
You think?
Yeah, sure.
We'll just have a different one. Don't have to redo the Candy role.
Oh, you mean just pick another character?
Pick another character, make him another
Barf's
Maul.
sister?
Barf's a guy on his home planet, like the Star Wars Holiday Special. That could actually be a pretty funny joke. But my understanding is that Bill Pullman is going to return as Lone
Yes, I
Star.
heard that.
And his son, Lewis, is going to be in it.
Oh, a real actor.
Who? Jeez. Ouch.
Sorry.
And then and here's, to me, this is the biggest news of all. Rick Moranis is going to return as Dark Helmet. Because remember, he didn't even come back for Ghostbusters.
Yeah, and if he's agreed to do this, I'm shocked.
So if that's true, and this is still the rumors, Daphne Zuniga is supposed to come back. Well, no, wait. Yeah, that's what I'm reading.
Yes.
Anyway, hopefully, and then of course I'm sure they'll cast new people in the role, but
kind of have to.
Spaceballs 2. That was
Electric Boogaloo.
Pizza the Hut ate himself to death, so they won't have to go back to him.
It's staggering how much you remember from that ridiculous movie.
Well, that's my skills. All right, that is hour number 1 of the movie show. When we come back, we've got our big streaming reviews, including a couple of movies coming to streaming and a couple of series and telephone torture, all to come as we continue on the movie show.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
12 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Claire Scott. KSL's top story this hour. Police say a helicopter pilot was lucky to walk away with just a few scratches after crashing shortly after takeoff at the Sky Park Airport in Woods Cross this morning. Woods Cross police say the helicopter is completely destroyed after the propeller hit the hangar door. The pilot told police this was not a mechanical error. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. The Maryland man mistakenly deported to El Salvador, who is now back in the U.S., pleaded not guilty today to human trafficking charges. Gilmar Abrego Garcia's wife spoke to supporters gathered outside the Nashville courthouse, where he was arraigned today.
I'm grateful for everyone who has been fighting for this milestone and this fight to bring my husband back home with our children.
The government's first witness in the case was Homeland Security Special Agent Pete Joseph. Your money at this moment, the Dow is down 585 points, the S&P down 36. And coming up, sunny skies and 90s. KSL weather is next. KSL News time 12:01.
This show's going to be different.
The new Inside Sources.
We have the desire to help you understand the issues that are impacting you on your family level. Hi, I'm Holly Richardson.
My name is Greg Skortis.
Join Inside Sources this week, 9 to noon
on KSL News Radio.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get ready to join the climb, Jazz fans. It's time to place your season ticket deposits for the 2025-26 season. Place your deposit now and receive priority access to select your seats, exclusive gear, and more. Season tickets give you access to every home game, plus exclusive member-only discounts and benefits. Call or text 801-355-DUNK or go to UtahJazz.com to lock in your deposit for next season.
At Intermountain Health, we believe life is a circle. May yours surround you with insight, a healthy perspective, trust, and reassurance. The belief that our differences aren't that different, and compassion just when you need it most. Life is a circle. May yours help you live the healthiest life possible. Intermountain Health.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by Mountain America's Double Rewards credit card promotion. Here's Ricky Meese.
Good news for drivers on southbound I-15 trying to get into Midvale. The crash that we had just after 7200 South has been cleared. All lanes are open. There are residual delays passing the South interchange. That should clear quickly. We do also have an accident. This is on I-215 South Belt going eastbound at State Street. Those vehicles are mostly to the right. That right lane is partially blocked with an officer's vehicle. And then earlier we had a closure of westbound 201 at 8400 West. It looks like they're still trying to keep people off the freeway there due to a crash. You will need to think about using an alternate like I-80. Jordan Valley Water says we're using about 12% more water than last year, even though we don't need to. Do your part. Water one day less each week. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Highs rising through the weekend with 98 expected on Father's Day. The skies are mostly clear, but a little bit of cloud coverage moves in on Sunday. Right now it is 86 and fair. I'm Claire Scott from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at KSLNewsRadio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Planning a weekend on the couch? Streaming your favorite movie or a new show? Andy and Steve sort through it all, so you only binge the best. It's The Movie Show Streaming Reviews on KSL News Radio.
Our big streaming review sponsored by Quantum Fiber. Your life moves fast. Quantum Fiber Internet can help you keep up service in select locations only. All right. Now, our big streaming movie of the week was not the streaming movie of the week that I enjoyed the most, but it is Echo Valley.
You must be Claire's mom.
Stay away from my mom, he's crazy!
Hey, Claire, why would you say that about a close friend?
I'm guessing you haven't heard from Claire.
She showed up here last week.
What did she want?
What does she always want? Money.
She's our daughter.
Our daughter is an addict. She'll show up, put on that smile, and you'll give her anything she wants.
What'd you do? I took care of it. All of it.
All right, this is a tension-filled thriller starring Julianne Moore, who plays Kate, who's a horse ranch owner, grieving the death of her wife and struggling to set boundaries with her addict daughter, Claire, who's played by Sydney Sweeney. So Claire shows up one night. She's covered in somebody else's blood, and Kate decides she's going to help her daughter out of this jam. But she ends up in a bunch of trouble herself, including getting menaced by a local drug dealer played by Domhnall Gleeson.
He was good. Yeah, this is one of those things where, okay, you got a daughter that's on drugs, and she keeps coming home and lying to you and stealing from you. And now she's in real trouble. How far are you willing to go to protect her? And how far should you go? At some point, you got to go like, dude, what are we doing here?
Well, that to me, I think, is going to be the line of demarcation to whether someone will like or dislike this movie. Because the answer for Julianne Moore is she'll do basically anything to help her daughter.
She does go to great lengths.
And I think The challenge for me watching this, first of all, I thought there was some unexpected story twists, and I thought there was some really good actors along with the three that we mentioned. There's also Kyle MacLachlan that we heard in the clip.
Briefly.
And Fiona Shaw.
She stole the movie for me.
She plays kind of a key role in all this, but the problem is that the characters were so unlikable, except for Fiona Shaw. Everybody was so unlikable that I couldn't look past all the bad choices.
Even
they
Julianne
made.
Moore. I mean, just because she rolled over.
Yes, that's exactly why, and that's why I say to me the line of demarcation is, is there a limit to what you do for your kids? And if the answer to that is no, then you may like this movie more than I did. I love my children. But if they did the things that Sydney Sweeney did, we'd be having a conversation about
prison.
What I can do to help you and what I can't do to help you.
I know
and
the name
there
of a
are
good lawyer,
lines
Greg Scortis.
That you can, there are lines that can be crossed that I will not cross with you.
Okay, so I get what you're saying. I thought that she kept going down this rabbit hole and didn't have another choice, because if she doesn't, then she's going to get in trouble. She has to figure out
but that's
some way.
That's a selfish choice too.
All right, I get it. But the part that bugged me was when, at the very end, it's so abrupt that you didn't really have a chance to. There should have been a monumental tail chewing going on here, and it just
they don't give you
ended.
that. That to me was the other frustrating part. It leaves you frustrated in the final shot of the movie.
Yeah,
because you're like, okay, no, you don't get any closure. You don't get any closure.
Yeah, I don't know. So what do you think?
I gave it a C.
Ooh,
a C grade. Yeah,
I gave it a B minus.
Okay, so we flipped from what we thought of. What was the movie?
Unholy Trinity.
Unholy Trinity. Yes, and I did not like Echo Valley. Now, the movie that I did unexpectedly really enjoy is called Deep Cover.
I'm looking to work with someone just like you.
Oh, are you like an aide?
Detective Sergeant. It's a program using improv comics to take down criminals.
200 each. You in?
You've got deeper in 2 days than we've managed in 2 years. You can't quit now.
We told our bosses that we were about to bring in 3 major players, not a bunch of clowns.
Clowning is an art.
Okay.
Orlando Bloom.
Orlando Bloom steals this movie like 100 times over.
Yeah, when he plays that Al Pacino, angst-ridden, brooding actor who takes everything, even like a silly commercial, and turns it into like Eeyore,
He turns it into a Shakespeare production.
Yeah.
Okay, so the basic premise is this. Bryce Dallas Howard teaches an improv class in London. She's an American teaching in London. Orlando Bloom is one of her acting students. And Nick Mohammed, who you knew from Ted Lasso, who played, I forgot his name on Ted Lasso. He plays the kit manager, the equipment guy that ends up becoming the evil villain of the final season. Right,
kind of screwed over Ted, yeah.
Yeah, he plays a guy who works at the local... I don't think MI6. He worked at some local office, but he's the tech guy. He's not an agent.
Yeah, he's in charge of the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, and he's definitely an outcast. Well, he ends up going to this improv class, gets thrown on stage, doesn't know what he's doing, gets a hand because they don't realize that he's as clueless as he is. And what he finds, a policeman comes up to Bryce Dallas Howard and says, hey, we like to use improv people for some of these sting operations that we do because cops aren't the best at thinking on their feet. Improvs are good. All we need you to do is go into this store and buy this pack of cigarettes. That's it. You'll have these. Your job is to do this, your job's to do this, and your job's to be the lookout so that it looks legit. You go in, buy the cigarettes. That's all you got to do. Then we bust them. Because in improv, you do yes and.
Yeah, there's a lot of and.
It suddenly gets way out of control. And, of course, Orlando Bloom has to come up with this huge backstory for his character.
Yeah.
He reads for a commercial for a male performance drug, but he does this whole rom-com soliloquy first. And you're like, maybe just read the line. Anyway, what it comes down to, they get roped in, and then the thing goes out of control. There's a lot of The Man Who Knew Too Little from Bill Murray, if you remember that show from a few years ago. There's a lot of that where he gets caught up in a play where he thinks it's a play and it's real.
That's a good point.
They know it's real, but they've got police backup so they can kind of play it out.
They have to
as
stay in
actors.
character.
Exactly. And I tell you what, this is worth it just for Orlando Bloom. He made me laugh so hard. Nick Mohammed is great too as the clueless guy.
Well, and I thought Bryce Dallas Howard was really good.
She morphs between.
I couldn't understand a single word Sean Bean said. He was the police officer.
That's Sean Bean.
Yeah, that was Sean Bean.
He was unrecognizable
Yeah.
almost. So anyway, this was one that, okay, it is rated R, and it is plenty of language and violence. It is also hilarious, I thought.
It's very funny, although I thought the premise was kind of silly.
Yes, but comedies do stretch these things thin just by nature. Like, part of what the comedy is that it is a thin premise. So the question is, did they stretch it so far that it's not funny anymore?
Well, I gave it a B.
Oh, and see, I gave it a B+.
Oh.
So that is
Deep Cover.
Deep Cover, and it is streaming on Prime Video. By the way, I don't know if we mentioned Echo Valley is streaming on Apple TV+.
That's right.
These are both movies. I liked Deep Cover, didn't like Echo Valley, but you liked Echo Valley more.
A little bit, not much.
Okay. Well, that is our big streaming movies of the week. Before we take a break here, I want to read a couple of texts. We have one listener who texted to 57500. They should cast Jack Black as Barf in replacing John Candy's role.
That could work.
That could work. The worst remake, here's a vote for Superman Returns with Brandon Routh, but that wasn't a remake as much as it was a sequel, a recasting, but it continued the Richard Donner movie story, supposedly.
Judges,
we'll get a ruling here. Let's see. Avatar: The Last Airbender. There are some people that hated that live-action remake of the cartoon. I liked the movie. What do I know anyways, right? Here's a question for you, Steve. Which is the better version, Father of the Bride with Spencer Tracy?
Yes.
Or Father of the Bride with Steve Martin?
Ooh. I think time-wise, they're both perfect for their time period. How about that?
Well, that's a good way to walk the line between the two, but they are both good. Now, how about for TV dads? Would you agree that they're one of the better, not movie dads? Would you agree that that character is one of the better movie dads, the Father of the Bride?
Yes, I think that those would both work.
All right. I think Andrea, one of our texters, would agree with you. John, listener, says Craig T. Nelson played the first two best movie dads that came to mind. The dad from Poltergeist.
Oh, Steven.
And Mr. Incredible.
Oh, yeah.
In The Incredibles. That's a great suggestion, John. Good suggestion. Let's see. Family Man, The Family Man for Good Movie Dad. Nicolas Cage, I believe, when he goes and lives the alternate reality.
Yeah.
I guess. I'm just guessing off of that texture. And then here's another vote for Father of the Bride. Let's see. We've got other questions, guys. We do have to take a break, but before we do that, we want to tell you how you can win F1 registered trademark, the movie ticket giveaway.
You're really going to throw people off throwing that in there. Come on.
Okay, F1 the movie. No colon.
There's no colon. That's right. That's so
There's no colon. All right, this is all you got to do, okay? We have an exclusive contest for members of the Movie Show Club. We're going to send 5 lucky listeners to a special advanced screening of F1. To win, you have to be a member of the KSL Movie Show Text Club. So take out your phone if you're not already a member. If you're not, take out your phone and text the word movie to 57500. Then, next week after our show, we're going to send a text to all the members of the Movie Show Club with a secret link to enter the contest.
Huh.
So, this is to see the movie F1 starring Brad Pitt.
Which comes out on the 27th.
Comes out on the 27th of June, and I believe the screening is the Monday of that week, either the Monday or the Tuesday.
Well, we're seeing it on the 16th.
We are seeing it on the 16th, but other people are seeing it after that.
Oh, sorry.
See, for every How to Train Your Dragon and F1, then we get other movies where they don't show them to us.
Oh, that's
Superman. So, okay. Well, we'll take a break here on the movie show.
That's criminal, by the way.
We still have a movie to tell you about that Steve got a chance to watch on Netflix. That's a documentary about the Ocean Gate disaster.
Oh, man.
And Steve has not been able to stop thinking about it since.
Well, just being in that tube, no thank you.
All right. We'll do that when we come back on the movie show.
I'm Holly Richardson.
My name is Greg Skordas. Listen for the new Inside Sources.
One of the things that people don't realize about Utah politics, at the state legislative level, there's a lot of camaraderie and a lot of working together for the good of Utah. Inside Sources, weekdays from 9 to noon.
This is a show that a person could listen and learn something every day and say, you know what, I didn't know that this morning at 9, but I know it now. Inside Sources.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on KSL News Radio.
Steve, we're excited to tell you about a chance you have to save $2,500 replacing your old original builder windows that just let all the energy in and out of your house all summer and winter long with high-efficiency windows from our friends at Advanced Window Products.
25th and 26th of this month. That's when my install is going to take place.
I bet you they'll get it all done in one day, Steve. That's how good they are.
You haven't seen my house. It's the Winchester Mystery House.
Well, the great thing about Advanced Windows is they make the windows themselves. They have the highest quality. They've been in business for almost 40 years. And because they make it themselves, because they install it themselves, they guarantee the work, and they guarantee it for the life of the home as long as you live there or the person you sell it to lives there.
Never heard of that. That's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. And you can take advantage of this $2,500 off of 10 windows or more by calling our friends at Advanced Window Products. You can go to advancedwindows.com, or you can call them at 801-850-9100.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. 783-8055. That's 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055. Optima Tax Relief. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys, and I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customer service in this country. I saw it for myself. I went to Georgia, I got a tour of their headquarters, I met their CEO, and I talked to the same customer service folks that you'll talk to when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Switch today and save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. A wireless company that actually stands for something.
This is Christian Staples with Arctic Spas. It is time for our annual spring clearance sale at Arctic Spas. Tons of hot tubs, swim spas, all-weather pools, saunas, and cold tubs all on sale at up to $7,500 off. Yes, up to $7,500 off. Just in time for the summer fun to begin. Plus, we have a few models left over from last year, like an Arctic Spa Polaris, a 7-foot by 7-foot with 40 massaging jets, 2 pumps, ozone water purification, UV water purification, multicolored LED lights, and a waterfall, now discounted to $89.95. Swim spas starting out at $19,995. This brings a pool to your backyard all year long, but especially for the family fun this summer. Comfort and convenience is on sale with our automated saltwater system. Or save even more with almost new refurbished Arctic Spas from years past. Start out online at ArcticSpasUtah.com to pick out your favorite spa. Then stop by one of our 3 Arctic Spa stores covering all of Utah: Salt Lake, American Fork, and St. George. Arctic Spas, the only spa built for Utah's harsh climate.
Getting help with electrical repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Planning a weekend on the couch? Streaming your favorite movie or a new show? Andy and Steve sort through it all so you only binge the best. It's The Movie Show Streaming Reviews on KSL News Radio.
Okay, Steve, here's a chance, a movie that you watched with a kind of a creeped out feeling?
Oh, the moment it started, I'm like, no. There isn't enough money in the world to get me to get into a submersible tube like this.
This is called Titan, the Ocean Gate Disaster.
There was no way of knowing when Titan was going to fail, but it was a mathematical certainty that it would fail. Stockton saw an opportunity to restart tourist visits to Titanic.
Stockton fully believed in what he was doing and that it would work.
He wanted fame, to fuel his ego, fame.
All right, we will get to that review in just a moment, but we've got some breaking news right now in the KSL newsroom from Claire Scott. Claire, what do we got?
Yeah, we're seeing reports that the Israeli military official says dozens of incoming missiles have been detected. ABC News is reporting this is an incoming attack by Iran on central Israel. The Israel Defense has told the public to seek shelter. Fox is reporting there has been impact in Tel Aviv, but this news is just now coming into the newsroom, so we're going to have to continue to follow that and bring you the latest. Reporting live, Claire Scott, KSL News Radio.
Well, it looks like it's 9:22 p.m. in Tel Aviv, so a nighttime attack or a retaliation from Iran to Israel after last night's.
This is going to get ugly.
Yeah. I know it feels weird to have to switch tracks again after the breaking news.
Well,
but
this is also a disaster.
Yeah, so let's play that clip again from Titan, the Ocean Gate disaster.
There was no way of knowing when Titan was going to fail, but it was a mathematical certainty that it would fail. Stockton saw an opportunity to restart tourist visits to Titanic.
Stockton fully believed in what he was doing and that it would work.
He wanted fame. To fuel his ego, fame.
All right, Steve.
Yeah, this is a tough one. Almost 2 years to the day, on June 18th.
It was 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In 2023. So this Ocean Gate vessel was created. They did all these tests, and they mentioned Stockton Rush, who was the CEO. He wanted to try a carbon fiber material for the hull, as opposed to steel or titanium, which is what they've used over the years. He had it tested down to 3,000 meters, which is about where the Titanic is, and kind of left it at that. His engineers wouldn't even get in the vessel.
These were people that wanted to go see Titanic,
right?
Right.
And so they would pay money, and they'd drop them down to see Titanic. And in fact, David Polk from CBS Sunday Morning went on one of these just a few dives before this one. Here's the problem. Carbon fiber is made up of tiny little strands. And when those strands break, they don't do it all at once. They kind of systematically start to collapse. And
under pressure like that.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly. And Rush was saying, oh, no, it's settling itself. Yeah. No. And I mean, the tragedy of it, he wanted to be famous. He kind of cut corners. He was like a devil-may-care kind of guy, an adventurer. And then he talked these people into getting in that boat. He did several dives, I should say.
So there were some successful ones before this one.
Except it was in the previous years. And his engineer said, whatever you do not leave the darn thing out in the cold. If it gets below freezing, it's going to destroy the hull. And he did. He left it there in Boston, out on a dock, sitting there with snow all over it. And then the next time they tried to go out 2 more times in the next season, and weather prevented them. The third one was this dive, and the thing collapsed.
Now, is it true that you watch the woman listen to her husband die?
Well, you can hear. They have little microphones inside and that was monitored by the people that were, and his wife, Mrs. Rush, was on the boat. It was topside.
That's horrible.
So you could hear it's like almost taking a beer can and twisting it, and that sound. And they kept going. I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh, man.
So it's all of that. It's hubris. It's ignoring safety precautions and ignoring your own engineers who wouldn't even get on the darn thing. There's so many things and one guy even sued. He worked for him, and he sued them to stop them from putting it down there, and he still did it.
Wow. So this will take you through the emotions, and it'll also give you claustrophobia.
Oh, that comes right out of the gate. There's no way. These billionaires are in that tube. They couldn't pay me $1 billion to get in there.
Well, you could, yeah. I mean, I'd love to see the Titanic, but I'm good to just watch video taken from robot submersibles that are showing it to me, and I can watch from my living room.
Or at least use a vessel that has been completely tested and is not, that it's fail-safe.
So that is called Titan, the Ocean Gate Disaster, and it is on Netflix. Did you grade it or just
a B+?
A B+. Okay. Also on streaming, we've got a couple of series to try to at least tell you one about right now before we take a break for bottom of the hour for news. Let's talk about you did watch American Thunder NASCAR to Le Mans.
Le Mans is the biggest race in the world. Le Mans. It's a 24-hour race. It's about survival, pushing man and machine to the limit. We're going to race a NASCAR at Le Mans.
We're going to do what? In 1976, Bill France took a couple of NASCARs to Le Mans.
We're going to do this right.
So this is if you remember Ford v Ferrari, this is a different situation where they have actually different types of Le Mans races. This one involved European prototypes of cars, and they invited NASCAR, specifically Hendrix Motors, to come and build a car out of a Camaro and do it right and be part of Le Mans. And so, Jimmy Johnson is involved and a couple other actually Formula One drivers, and they went all out. The meticulous preparation for this vehicle was extraordinary. Back in the day when they first were invited, the NASCAR lasted 2 laps, and they had to bail out. It blew up. So this one, at least they did a lot better. They didn't win or anything, and they certainly didn't win because this is the 100th anniversary of the Le Mans race. Ferrari won again this. So
that's right. It's the 24-hour of Le Mans, right?
Yeah, 24-hour race
that we saw in Ford versus Ferrari.
Right. This was the 100th anniversary, so it was many years later, just the last couple of years. And Ferrari won again. They've really been pretty good at it. But the Camaro, it actually did very well in its class. So, yay.
Okay, so that is American Thunder NASCAR to Le Mans. That is on Prime Video. It's a series or a...
it's just a documentary.
It's a documentary movie?
97 minutes.
Oh, okay, so it is a movie. All right, so those are our streaming movies of the week. We need to take a break here really quick, and then we've got some more breaking news to get to as we monitor this situation between Iran and Israel. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll be right back. I got to find out what we're doing here. Can you play a spot really quick?
Mom and Dad used to argue about everything, especially about Dad's drinking. It drove me crazy. It got so bad, I couldn't do my homework. I couldn't concentrate. I absolutely refused to let any of my friends come to our house for any reason. I would have been humiliated if anyone found out how much my dad drank and how loud my mom screamed at him. My family went from totally crazy to quiet, calm, and even peaceful. The only thing that happened is my mom started going to Al-Anon family groups. Her relationship with my dad really changed. I asked Mom if she would take me to her Al-Anon meetings, or to Alateen. I wanted to see if I could have a better relationship with my dad. I'm sure glad I did. If someone's drinking troubling you, you might be surprised at what you can learn in an Al-Anon or Alateen family group from people just like you. Call 1-888-4-ALANON or go to alanon.org.
It's 12:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Scott Carty. KSL's top local and national story this hour. We have breaking news out of Tel Aviv. Video shows smoke coming from the city center. We're seeing reports that the Israeli military officials say dozens of incoming missiles have been detected. Explosions have been heard coming from the city, and air raid sirens are sounding. Hundreds of missiles have been reportedly launched at Israel. It's unclear if any of them have struck the city or if they were all intercepted. The Israeli defense has told the public to seek shelter. This news is just coming into the KSL newsroom now, so we'll be continuing to follow the story and bring you the very latest. This comes as Israel continues its attacks today against Iran, striking nuclear and missile facilities. ABC's Marcus Moore has more.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying Israel had no choice but to act, calling Iran's nuclear program, quote, a clear and present danger.
This operation will continue for as many days as it takes to remove this threat.
Iran launching more than 100 drones towards Israel, the IDF saying it has intercepted those drones before reaching Israeli airspace. Israel's defense minister declaring a state of emergency, calling up tens of thousands of troops. Concerns now that the operation overnight could increase chances of all-out war between the countries and expand into a regional conflict.
The White House was supposed to hold talks with Iran this weekend to talk about Iran's nuclear program. Your money at this moment, the Dow is down just over almost 2% at 797.97. S&P 500 also down just over 1% at 68.09. And the NASDAQ is at 1.23% down at 242 right now. KSL News Time is 12:32. Sunshine continues, a high of 89 degrees today. And we are continuing to make our way through. Looking at the weekend ahead, it looks like a beautiful weekend. Correction on that, a high of 95 today, a 96 on Saturday, and a high of 98 on Sunday. KSL News Time, 11:32. I'm Scott Carty.
Well, as we've been covering the breaking news, Israel now under fire from Iran. We're now joined live by University of Utah Law Professor Amos Guiora. Amos, we talked to you earlier today. This is what we were kind of getting ready for, and what's the situation you find yourself in right now?
Right. Just got out of the shelter. We live outside Jerusalem. Per the warnings from the Home Front Command, we spent 10 minutes, which is what you're supposed to do in the shelter with our family. There indeed were 100 drones, as I understand it, fired from Iran. It seems to be, yes, intercepted, but there also seems to be, reports are unclear, some kind of a hit or at least clouds over Tel Aviv. I think waiting for more information. I don't think it's a huge surprise as clear that the Iranians would do, additional attacks in response to the initial attack. How many days this will go forward? We're going to clearly in a I don't know if I would say hour to hour mode, but as I say, we're just now in the shelter for 10 minutes, and safe to assume that will there be more air raid sirens during the night? I don't know, but we did exactly what you're supposed to do, which is go to the shelter, which is in our house. And we were there for 10 minutes with our family.
And Amos, remind us again which city that you're in?
We live outside Jerusalem.
Just outside Jerusalem. Okay, we've been seeing video from the national organizations of missiles coming down in Tel Aviv. Obviously, nothing to officially confirm.
That's right.
But yes.
Yeah, I hear through the according to the Israeli press these black clouds over Tel Aviv, but I don't know if that's the result of an intercept or if it was actually a hit. That's unclear at the moment. Again, everything is, minute to minute. Areas are trying to understand that if it's doing an intercept, an actual hit or shrapnel from a drone, I assume it will take time to determine whether it's A and or B and or C.
For listeners who may not be familiar with Israel's topography, how far away is Tel Aviv from Jerusalem?
Probably about 40 kilometers, which is, I think, plus minus 30 miles, 25, 30 miles. Tel Aviv is in the Israeli coastline, and Jerusalem is in the Judean hills. I think about 40 kilometers.
Okay, and you said
30 miles plus minus.
You've heard explosions where you are?
Oh, yeah, sure. You hear the intercepts. Oh, yeah, sure.
Intercepts, okay.
Right.
Well.
There's a difference between an explosion, which is a hit, and an intercept, which is when the Iron Dome, which does the intercept, but the boom from the intercept from the Iron Dome is very loud. And it doesn't even have to be in your immediate area for you to hear it. But again, in Tel Aviv, the black clouds, if I think that's the right word in English, at this moment unclear if that's as a result of an intercept or a hit or a shrapnel. There are always three options.
Well, Professor Guiora,
when I say hit, I mean actually like a hit.
Oh, okay. We appreciate you taking the time, and you from what you said, you guys are in a 10-minute window where you stay indoors, and then you'll be able to.
No, not indoors. In a shelter inside the house.
Okay.
Not indoors. In a shelter. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, thank you for keeping us updated on that. We hope that you're safe, and we hope to get a chance to talk to you again.
Thank you very much.
That's Professor Amos Guiora from the University of Utah Law School joining us live near Jerusalem in Israel as the rocket attacks continue. The News Nation reporting at least 7 strikes have hit in their missile attack that have apparently made it through the Iron Dome. We'll continue to follow this throughout the day on KSL News Radio.
A new home for Inside Sources.
I'd say give us a try. My name is Greg Skordas.
Hello, this is Holly Richardson.
Give us that opportunity to tell you what we know and to share your thoughts with us.
Inside Sources, now weekday mornings 9 to noon on KSL News Radio.
Tim Hughes back again with Greg and Mike at Replenish Landscape Garden Products. It's that time of year when you're looking to make a change in your landscaping, and maybe you're tired of some of those areas that you just end up pulling a lot of weeds out of this time of year. Greg, you've got a lot of answers for that in the form of rocks and bark and so many other things.
That's right. We carry 22 different varieties in our bins here, and they're available to be picked up, or we can deliver them to you.
Mike, there's a reason why professional landscapers and even school districts and others use your products.
Yeah, it's a great proven material.
we get a lot of school districts and municipalities that use it as well, and landscapers.
You still have those playground chips, too?
We do.
You're going to find it all right here in Murray at 4660 South, 200 West. And remember, you can drive right in and pick it up yourself or have it delivered right to your home. Call them at 801-262-5142 or go online at replenishcompost.com. Remember, Replenish. It's good stuff.
Looking for reliable home services you can actually count on? I've got just the team for you. Mountain Home Services. They've been serving Utah since 1954 with honest, upfront pricing and zero hidden fees. Plus, they back every job with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. With summer heating up, now's the time to get your AC in shape. Mountain Home Services delivers fast, expert air conditioning service to keep your home cool and comfortable. And don't forget, they also handle electrical and plumbing work with the same trusted care. And here's the best part. KSL listeners get exclusive limited-time specials, but you have to call and ask. These deals won't last, so don't miss your chance to save. Call 801-543-2222 today and tell them KSL sent you. That's 801-543-2222 or visit mountainhomeservices.com. Get the service you need and the deal you deserve.
They all laughed when I suggested Fat Cats for our next movie night. They show movies at Fat Cats, was the reply. Then they walked into Fat Cat's luxury movie theater. Huge screens, Dolby sound, and every seat a luxury recliner. And to take it up a notch, we all ordered food from the Fat Cat's grill and had it delivered right to our seats without extra charges. Nothing feels better than relaxing in a comfy recliner and eating a hand-tossed pizza or freshly grilled burger. Even the desserts were out of this world. Our movie nights will never be the same. If you've got friends like mine, bring them to Fat Cats, Utah's newest chain of luxury theaters. Every Tuesday, tickets are $5, but at Fat Cats on Mondays, tickets are $5 with a Gold Cat membership. Want to achieve a neighborhood hero status like me? Bring them to Fat Cats. With locations along the Wasatch Front, there's one near you. Find movie times and locations at fatcatsfun.com. fatcatsfun.com.
Jim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors. I want to tell you about our famous "You don't need a warranty" warranty. That's right. It's a warranty you don't need, but we give it to you anyway. Let me explain. Most warranty problems for siding, gutters, and windows are caused by not installing stuff right in the first place. If you rush the work, cut corners, or use subpar materials, you're just begging for problems later. At RGS Exteriors, we don't tolerate careless workmanship. We slow down, focus on every detail, and use only the best materials. We prevent warranty work by doing the job right in the first place. That's why the 10-year everything guarantee we give you is also known as our "You don't need a warranty" warranty. We absolutely will be there if you need to use it. But honestly, you probably will never have to. Done right the first time. That's the RGS way. For siding, gutters, and windows, call 801-280-3110 or visit us at rgsexteriors.com.
Well, because of the breaking news situation that we've got going on,
Hollywood News, the KSL Movie Show.
And because of the breaking news situation in Israel right now, we're going to actually end the movie show a little bit early today. We appreciate you listening, but we are a news station first and foremost, Steve, and as entertaining as it is talking about movies, we've got real stuff going on, and this is what we need to take coverage right now. So thank you for listening to the movie show. We will find a way to give out a telephone torture prize to Movie Show Club members. To join it, just text the word movie to 57500. We'll take care of all of that offline, but we want you to stay with us now as we take live coverage from CNN of the Iranian retaliation in Israel.
With warnings, and I just got another red alert listing more locations that now have potential incoming warnings. So you see now the scope of what's playing out here. The retaliation, dozens at first, dozens more, triggering red alert sirens across the country, sending us to the bomb shelter in our building, sending others to shelters as well, and the order remains to stay in the shelters and stay close to the shelters. Now I'm seeing red alerts for southern Israel. Beersheba is a major city in southern Israel. So you really see quite easily here how much this is pretty much across the entire country. And to give everyone a sense of that, Israel is roughly the size of New Jersey, give or take. So you get a sense of the area the size of New Jersey is under warning of incoming rocket fire. with the population right now remaining in shelters. Again, we don't have a sense of, we're not able to see the live pics of what's happening out there, but you have described incoming missiles, outgoing missiles, so it gives you a feeling for what's unfolding right now across the country.
And we are seeing, Oren, our very first live images of Tel Aviv right now, and what appears to be some damage. There's a building, you can see it, it's on the right side of your screen, right under where it says Tel Aviv, Israel, where it appears that flames are emanating from the building. This is video taken moments ago, and I want you to note that you can see shadows of people moving inside this building. I'm not sure if it's going to pop up exactly on this clip, but we saw moments ago, so there were folks inside this building. Unclear their status right now, but we should point out that so far no injuries have been reported, according to an Israeli police spokesperson. They are confirming that Iranian munitions fell on a community within Tel Aviv, but as of right now, with police officers and bomb disposal experts on the ground trying to isolate those sites, and you see some lights moving at the bottom of that building, apparently doing some kind of inspection perhaps of the damage. No injuries reported thus far. We still have Colonel Cedric Layton with us, and Colonel, I wonder, as we were hearing former Ambassador Michael Oren describe what could become a war of attrition if Iran continues these waves of dozens of ballistic missile strikes, how long could they maintain that kind of pace?
The Iranians could maintain that pace for a while because they probably have a lot of their missiles in storage in hidden areas, and as a result of that, we're kind of seeing the results right now. And in fact, it looks like there's another set of incoming missiles possible right now, and so the Iranians are going to try to use what they have to overwhelm the Israeli defense systems, the missile defense systems, the ones that the ambassador described. And if we have that kind of a situation, this could overwhelm those air defenses, and it could result in some major changes to the way in which the Israelis have to defend themselves. I mentioned they had air supremacy earlier, but what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to find a way to target the missile launch facilities, and that's going to be the next phase of this operation if this continues.
Cedric, looking at that building, I mean, what do you see? We've seen in the past, and there we see Jerusalem, we're seeing a ballistic missile coming in.
Yeah.
There you see, it looks like Iron Dome may or may not have intercepted in time. But as you were looking at the damage to that building, what did you see?
So it clearly struck what appeared to be an apartment building there in Tel Aviv. One of the things that the Iranians had said, and Fred Pleitgen had mentioned this in his reporting, was that the Iranians had a set of targets. They had a target list that they of significant Israeli installations. So what I don't know is whether or not this particular building was in close proximity to something like the Israeli Military Defense Headquarters, or some other defense node that would be important from a command and control perspective for the Israelis. When you look at this building, you see clearly a hit similar to what you often see in Ukraine, where the missiles come in and hit apartment buildings. Whether or not this was a deliberately targeted area, or it fell there by accident, or as a result of being knocked by the Iron Dome or David Sling or one of the other systems that the Israelis have, that is something we'll have to see what the assessments say. But the basic thing, Brianna, is that a lot of these areas are, especially if they're close to any of these installations, any important government facilities for the Israelis, they're going to be at risk.
Well, if you're just tuning in, you were looking for the movie show. We are doing live coverage of developing news in Israel, where Iran has launched a missile counterattack into Israel in retaliation for the Israeli attack on purported Iranian nuclear sites and in Iran overnight. We've been listening to some CNN coverage. We're going to take a break right now, and when we come back, we're going to pick up some coverage from ABC.
The future is here, so why is your internet stuck in the past? With Quantum Fiber Internet, you can get next-level multi-gig speed on a reliable fiber network. Fair and honest pricing with no annual contracts or bundling required. And whole home 360 Wi-Fi to make sure your devices are ready to take you where you want to go. So you can stream, post, game, surf, like, and love to your heart's content. You do you. Let Quantum Fiber Internet take care of the rest. Learn more at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service, and speed in select locations only. At Trio Senior Living, older adults aren't slowing down. They're just getting started. The Prime Fit Wellness Program expands wellness beyond the gym into every aspect of community life. Whatever your goals, the team at Trio Senior Living has got your back, so you can put your best foot forward. Call 801-475-4004 today to schedule your personal visit.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Well, for those of you tuned in looking for the movie show, we are actually preempting it right now to take live coverage from Israel. ABC coverage of the retaliation by Iranian missiles launched into Israel moments ago into Tel Aviv and the regions roundabout. Here's ABC's live coverage.
Inside Iran, part of this overall overnight attack.
Yeah, it's pretty extraordinary, and it's all the work of the Mossad, Kira. It's their ability to get into Iran and to create these bases where they actually had these drones that were able to take out many of the kinds of missiles, unfortunately, that are come inbound now to Tel Aviv. So, remarkable work. The Mossad essentially owns Iran. I mean, if you look at how they took out the whole leadership of the military part of the regime, it's really extraordinary. And so it's clearly incredible that they're working that deep behind enemy lines. It's something like what the Ukrainians did, but having people that far into Iran and able to attack those sites. Carrie, I did want to bring up one point here that really concerns me as we watch these images of Tel Aviv, and we saw at least one explosion there of a ballistic missile coming into Tel Aviv, which frankly looked like it had been hit by one of the surface-to-air missile systems that the Israelis have to take out ballistic missiles. But the thing that concerns me most here is that earlier today, the Israelis said that if the Iranians attacked civil sites, population areas in Israel, that Israel will take out all of the oil and gas infrastructure in Iran. That is the lifeblood of the Iranian economy. It is the only thing that the Iranian economy has. If they do that, then there's no reason that the Iranians won't close the Strait of Hormuz, that one waterway where all of the oil comes out of the Gulf. 20% of the world's oil could be shut down if the Iranians decide to close the strait, mine the strait, whatever they have to do, disrupt international oil markets. You're going to see a global reaction. Not only the price of oil, but other things that are related to the price of oil, and it's going to tank markets around the world. So we're really sort of on the precipice here of an international incident, not just a regional one.
So what's your take then? We haven't heard from President Trump yet. We cannot confirm if he's talked to Netanyahu yet today. They talked earlier in the week. Is everybody sort of standing by, waiting to see how this plays out? Do you think there are war plans being drawn up? And in addition to what you just mentioned, the economic impact and the oil and the gas, and could that be the next level of this war? There's also the concern about all the U.S. assets in the Middle East region, our troops, our bases. There's tremendous concern about that as well. And if Iran attacks the U.S. in any way, that could also take this to a totally different level, right?
Yeah, we're going to have to see what happens overnight here. How well do the Israelis defend? Remember back in the previous barrages that we've seen coming into Tel Aviv, there was really, as Martha noted, there was really nothing that the Iranians could do. Almost everything was intercepted. There was no significant damage. They hit some of the aircraft, the airfields, but there was no serious damage. So they got lucky, frankly. The technology is there. It's just a question of whether they can meet the onslaught here, the barrages of ballistic missiles that the Iranians throw at them here over the next probably hours, if not days and weeks, as the Israelis continue their campaign on Iranian soil. So the real question here is, let's wait and see if the Iranians do attack population centers within Israel, and there are civilian casualties, because the Israelis have made it clear that they are only going after military targets within Iran. If the Iranians come after civilian targets, that's where we have the real possibility to open this up from a regional war to a global conflict.
Martha, do you see any chance of things getting back to the... No, Martha? Okay. All right, Steve, let me ask you this. The IDF apparently now telling Israelis not to post pictures of the missile impacts because saying it could give Iran information on vulnerabilities. Apparently, we're